it seems to me that the view in London is that Nicola Sturgeon is trying to call our bluff. And we can call her bluff. She cannot win an independence referendum in Scotland because of the economics, because of the border issue, because of the euro. It's all just bluff.
Well, they will be making a big mistake if they think that I'm in any way bluffing, because if it comes to the point, 2 years after Scotland being told, the quote in the independence referendum was, Scotland, don't leave the UK, lead the UK. Here we are, we voted to stay in the EU. We were told that voting no was the only way we could stay in the EU. And we now face being taken out of the EU. Now that creates a much more fundamental question for Scotland. If on something as fundamentally important as the membership of the EU and the single market and all the implications that has for us, if we're going to be ignored, if our voice is going to be completely cast aside, our interests cast aside, then that can happen on anything. And we have to ask ourselves in Scotland, are we happy to have the direction of our country, the kind of country we want to be, determined by a right-wing Conservative government, perhaps for the next 20 years, or do we want to take control of our own future? And that's a case that in those circumstances, I think it would be right for Scotland to have the opportunity to decide.
But we're not looking at Indie Ref 2, as it's called, in 10 years' time or 5 years' time. We're looking at much quicker than that.
In the context, if we're facing a hard Brexit, I would
yes.
think yes, if we're talking about a hard Brexit. But let me not get away from this point. I'm putting to Theresa May a compromise solution.